Happy Friday, everybody. We've got a full 15 game slate. Interesting day yesterday. We're coming down to the final 3 games of the season, unless you're the Braves and the Mets, and you've got 5. But everybody else down to their final 3. So, last series of the year, the regular season, should be interesting. In terms of what we've got going on, the Twins, wow, they eliminated themselves basically last night against the Marlins, so that was cool. We sucked on the picks, but we did pretty good on the recap. So wild times. That's why you're not seeing a ton of money line plays. A lot of over/unders, team totals. Just kind of weird. You don't know which teams care, which teams don't right now. In terms of the playoff race, we've got the Tigers and the Royals tied for the wild card. You've got the Twins and the Mariners 3 games back. So essentially almost locked up. They just need one more win. If Tigers Royals can get one more win, they are in. And then if we look in the NL, we've got the Mets and the D-backs tied. You've got the Braves 1 game back. So that's still a pretty interesting race there. Dodgers locked up the NL West last night. It looked like they were going to lose, down 2-0 through 6, and then they just exploded for 5 in the 7th, and then 2 in the 8th, and ended up being 7-2. That was pretty wild. So D-backs, Mets, and the Braves are really kind of the key games as we move through the slate here. So let's get into the recap a little bit. Not a bad day. Not terrible. I mean, we were up. On a kind of a weird day, we were up. So always take a winning day. Padres and Braves over 8. I mean, that one looked like it had no chance. And then the Dodgers just exploded, ended up scoring 9 runs. So we ended up hitting that. Let's see. Tampa Bay, first 5, over 1.5. I love that play. That was such a good play at plus money. Ended up being 2-0 after 5. Funny thing is, I almost took Tampa Bay first 5, Detroit full game. God, that would have been sweet. It would have been a nice one. Angels first 5. Angels are dead to me. They don't even exist. They are an absolute dead team. They don't give 2 shits right now. So, they got swept by the White Sox. Baltimore, New York over 7.5. Another one that kind of looked dead in the water, and then the Yankees just absolutely exploded. So we easily went over that one. Parlays went 0 for 2 on the parlays. GG. The Angels, man. KC won. Milwaukee won. And then the Angels just didn't even show up. It was nothing through 4. So we had that first 5 bet. Angels didn't score in the 5th. I'm like, we're just going to push it. It's fine. And then the wheels didn't just fall off. I mean, they got chucked over a fucking waterfall. They ended up giving 7 runs up in the bottom of the 5th. So there's that. Padres ended up losing. Minnesota lost in like the 13th inning. I've never seen a game where the Marlins were just trying to let them win, and they couldn't. They could not win. And then the Orioles. So we had a good old reverse sweep in that parlay. So that was cool. Prop leans, we went 4 and 2. Bueller only got 1K. His K line was 5, which was just ridiculous. It was minus 160, but that line was just way too high. We missed Musgrove under 5.5 Ks. He ended up at 6. Burns over 4.5 hits. He ended up at 2. So Corbin Burns really pitching well. We're going to have to consider that heading into the playoffs. David Festa over 1.5 earned runs. I think he hit this in the first or second inning, so that was sweat-free. Rooker over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He ended up getting 2 hits in the final game in the Coliseum, so hit that line. Judge over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I don't know how many he finished at, but he hit a home run, so we know he went over that line. So not too bad. Nerfies, we didn't play any, but we will have some today. All right, let's get into the slate. First game on the card, Reds and the Cubs. This should be an interesting one. We have a 19-mile-an-hour wind blowing straight in from the south. We see that reflected in the over-under of 6.5. 6.5, and the under is favorited. It should be Nick Martinez. He's not officially announced, but I believe it's going to be Nick Martinez going up against Jameson Taillon. Taillon, not a lot of luck against this Reds lineup. It's got a 7.78 earned run average versus the Reds since 2023. That's 4 games. 2 games at home, 2 games away. He's faced them 1 time this year. That was on July 29th. He went 4.1 innings, 6 hits, 6 earned runs. He has given up 4 or more earned runs in 3 of his last 4 starts versus the Reds. So we've got some really good direction trending towards the Reds side. But Tyone's been pitching pretty well as of late. 3 earned runs in his last 4 games. He faced Washington, didn't give up any. Colorado gave up 2 at Colorado, so very respectable. Gave up 1 against the Yankees at home. And then, let's see, 1 earned run in his last 3 home games. So he's pitched really well at home. Gave up 1 run to the Yankees, didn't give up any to the Nats or the Pirates. So kind of an interesting play there. If we look at Martinez, he's also pitching very well. He's given up 1 earned run in his last 4 games. He gave up none to the Pirates, 1 to the Twins, and none at Atlanta. I was at that game against the Pirates, and he was lights out. I think he had 9 Ks. All of his pitches were working. I mean, the guy throws 6 pitches, so when you get them all working, it's pretty good. I didn't really look at the first 5 under on this one. I mean, it's probably like 2.5, 3.5. So I kind of just want to stay away from this game. I don't like this whole win thing. I would probably lean towards the under, honestly, but give me the Reds in this spot. There's just too much history where the Reds have dominated Tyone. I was really hoping the win was going to be blown out, but probably a game I'm just going to fade. Cubs are hitting better than the Reds as of late. Last week they're hitting 261 against righties, 292 over the last 2 weeks. Reds are hitting 249 over the last 2 weeks, 195 over the last week. So that's a fade for me. Do love the Nerfy, but it's really, really juiced. It might be one of the most juiced Nerfies I've ever seen at minus 175. Next game on the card, White Sox Tigers. Garrett Crochet going up against, I believe it's going to be Casey Mize. Hasn't been announced. I don't love Casey Mize, if we're being honest. If I'm Detroit and I need to win this game, probably not going Casey Mize. He's had 4 games back from return from injury. It's not gone really well. 22 innings pitched, 12 earned runs. So I don't love that. It kind of makes me a little bit nervous. But that said, he's given up 2 earned runs in his last 2 games. So we're seeing some progression there. If we look at Garrett Crochet, got about a 4 away ERA, just a tick above 4. He faced this Tigers team in March, pitched really well, but that was back in March, so I don't want to look too much into that. He's faced this team 8 times, 7 of those 8 were as a reliever, and he's given up 4 earned runs in 16 innings. So there is a path where they get to him. He's given up 5 earned runs in his last 3 games. He gave up 0 at San Diego, 1 at home against Oakland, and 4 at Boston, giving up 6 earned runs in his last 3 away games. I just can't fade the Tigers in this spot. They're 9-1 in their last 10. The White Sox are coming off of a sweep of the Angels. They're traveling back to going to Detroit. Yeah, I'm not going to fade a team that's 9-1. That's just not going to happen, especially at minus 166. I mean, not great value, right? If you're a straight bettor, I don't know how you can play this. I wouldn't necessarily play the first 5 going up against Crochet. I do like the Nerfy in this spot, though. All right, next game, Phillies and the Nats. Ranger Suarez going up against Trevor Williams. Williams, he's only pitched 1 game since he came back. It was against the Cubs at Chicago. It was really good. We don't have a lot to go off of here. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run. We look at Suarez, he's an away guy. He doesn't throw very well at home, but he's quite good away. Got a sub-3 away ERA. That said, he's given up 9 earned runs in his last 4 games. Gave up 2 at the Mets, 3 at the Brewers, 4 at home against the Rays, none in Miami. He did face this team in April. Pretty good outing, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. I lean Phillies, but I do think there's an angle to take the Nats at home. We got to remember, they have nothing to play for. The Phillies are locked in. That said, they're still hitting the shit out of the ball. Yeah, go Phillies in this one, but I could definitely see a path to take the Nats there, or maybe take their team total or something like that. Okay, moving on here. All right, I had to cough. All right, Pirates and the Yankees. This one's confusing. Rodon got bumped from his last start. They put Stroman in. That was a shit show. I thought he went on the IR. I guess he didn't. I can't find anything that says he's not pitching today. So we're going to move forward accordingly. And I really hope he is, because it's my favorite play of the day. And I forgot to put him as, I forgot to do it where you bet only if he's starting. So a reminder, especially this time of year right now, if you are betting money lines and whatever, you might want to make sure they're the starting pitcher. I'm kicking myself in the ass right now for not doing that. All right, we look at Jared Jones. He's got a 5.96 ERA. He's given up 13 earned runs in his last 3 games. At the Reds, he gave up 6, gave up 2 at home to Kansas City, gave up 2 at home to Washington, gave up 3 at Chicago. He has given up 2 or more earned runs in 8 of his last 9 starts. This Yankees team is a beast. They're an absolute beast. I love the offense we saw yesterday, so I think they continue that against the Pirates. I mean, I don't think Jones gives them too much of a problem, and the Pirates' bullpen is horrendous. So I think Rodon has a decent day. He's pitched really well since he's came out of this. You're a starter, you're going back to the bullpen, you're a starter situation. So if he does pitch, I like it. But we do have a play in this game, and it revolves around Yankees team total over 4.5 at -110, I believe. All right, Marlins Blue Jays. Adam Oller, Jose Barrios. Barrios, really good at home, 2.69 home ERA. Oller, just a bad pitcher. He is 1-4 for a reason. With a 5.06, it's interesting. He's got a 5.06 away ERA and a 5.06 home ERA. Pretty crazy. He's given up 11 earned runs in his last 3 games, gave up 2 at home to the Braves, gave up 3 at Washington, gave up 6 at Pittsburgh. If we look at Barrios, pitching really good. Like I said, he's given up 3 earned runs in his last 4 games. The Marlins coming off a 13-inning game last night. They had to use a lot of bullpen arms, and then they've got to turn around, travel to Canada. Blue Jays, I love them in this spot. So give me the Blue Jays here. One of my favorite plays today. I like the first 5 as well, -0.5 a run. All right, Astros and the Guardians. Blanco going there, but Joey Cantillo, the lefty who's been throwing really well as of late. I didn't really trust this line. I don't know why. Mentally, I just feel like this dude just threw, but I guess not. He threw against the Reds, so feels like a short rest. Could be wrong on that. I don't know. I didn't think he would be pitching, but I don't see anything that says otherwise. If we look at Blanco, 2.52 away ERA. He's given up 2 earned runs in his last 4 games. All of those were in his last start against the Angels, where he gave up 2. Then he blanked the Angels, blanked the Diamondbacks, blanked the Royals. And we're getting the Astros for plus money. They're plus 105. Yes, please. I will take the Astros. I really like the first 5. Just isolate Blanco and Cantillo. That said, Cantillo's been pitching really well as of late. But we look at the Astros. They might be the hottest left-handed hitting team on planet Earth right now. 389 over the last 2 weeks. 480. They're hitting 480. They have a WRC plus of 260 against lefties over the last 7 days. Really hard not to take the Astros at plus money. I don't give a shit if they're playing in Cleveland. Plus money, I'll take that bet all day. And if I'm wrong with Blanco, so be it. But like I said, Cantillo is pitching really well. Over the last 30 days, giving up a 100 average to lefties, 152 to righties. So I guess there's an avenue here, but I'll take my chances. All right, next game on the card, we've got the Rays and the Red Sox. We've got Taj Bradley going up against Nick Pivetta. Taj Bradley, he's pitching better as of late. 6 earned runs in his last 3, so that's good. But he's still given up 10 earned runs in his last 3 away games. Gave up 2 at Cleveland, 3 against the Phillies, 5 against the Dodgers. He's pitched against this Red Sox team twice already this year. Both of those starts were in May. Went 12 innings, 10 hits, 7 earned runs, so not great there. We look at Pivetta. He's also pitched against this Rays team twice this year. 10 innings pitched, 6 earned runs. Not much to go off of here. They like to give up some runs. That said, Pivetta, as of late, he's been pitching really well. 5 earned runs in his last 3 games. 4 of those were against the Rays, though. So he just faced this team 2 starts ago. I would go Red Sox, I guess. Maybe an over of 8 seems a little absurd. At Fenway, the wind's going to be blowing in very slightly. That's just such a weird line. I thought this was going to be 9 for sure. So I almost want to go with the over, but it feels trappy. I don't know. I don't know what I'd take. Red Sox, I guess. I mean, both teams suck. They have nothing to play for. Fade. All right, Royals, Braves, Max Fried going up against Brady Singer. If we look at Fried, he's got about a little over a 3.5 home ERA. Singer, a little over a 4 ERA at 4.25 when he's on the road. Fried, 8 earned runs in his last 3 games, 5 earned runs in his last 3 home games, but he's been throwing away a lot. So 4 of his last 6 starts have been away. So it's been a while since he's pitched at home consistently. If we look at Singer, 13 earned runs in his last 3 games. Not good. He's given up 9 earned runs in his last 3 away games. Gave up 4 to Pittsburgh, 3 to the Yankees, 2 to the Astros. 2 of his last 3 starts have been on the road, so kind of the opposite of Fried at home. Last start versus the Giants, he gave up 6 earned runs, so he's coming off of a really bad start. We saw the Royals struggle to score runs against the Nationals. They ended up sweeping them, so they have won 3 in a row. That said, they're also 3-7 in their last 10. Braves have won 3 in a row as well, 6-4 in their last 10. Feels like a really good spot to take the Braves. I still don't necessarily trust their offense, but they're hitting 307 over the past week against righties, 276 over the past 2 weeks. We look at the Royals, they ain't hitting lefties. 156 over the past 2 weeks, 163 over the past 7 days. We look at Singer, giving up a 250 average to righties over the last 30 days, 274 to lefties. Fried, 226 to lefties, 239 to righties. So I don't really see a path here that I want to take the Royals at plus 170. There's value there. I guess if you're a straight bettor, like if that's all you do is straights, there's definitely some value here, I suppose, but my God, their splits against lefties are so bad. I just can't do it. All right, Mets and the Brewers. We've got Frankie, the motherfucking Fave Montas, going up against Sean Manaea. Montas, a 5 home ERA. Manaea, a sub 3 away ERA. If we look at Frankie the Fade, 10 earned runs in his last 3 games. Gave up 7 to the Diamondbacks at home, 3 to the Phillies at home, and he shut out the Giants in San Francisco. 13 earned runs over his last 3 home games, so not great. He's given up 3 or more in the last 3. If we look at Manaea, 5 earned runs in his last 3 games. 3 earned runs in his last game against Philly. So really he had given up 2 over the other 2. I like the over in this spot. I would take the Mets. They need it. This game means absolutely nothing for the Brewers. 7.5 feels really light for an over-under. And I think I had 8.5. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to update all these over-unders. I suck. But you know what? It is what it is. I'll talk you through them. Okay. So that's it for me. So just ignore this money lines and the weather. I'm an asshole. I don't know. All right, Orioles, Twins, K. Povich, Pablo Lopez. K. Povich 2-9, not good. Going up against Pablo Lopez 15-9, so that's better. If we look at Povich, 9.75 away ERA over 6 games. Lopez is a better pitcher at home than he is away. If we look at Povich, 8 earned runs in his last 3 games. Gave up 2 at home against Detroit. Then he gave up 2 away against Detroit. Gave up 4 at Boston. Gave up 5 at the Dodgers. We look at Lopez, 2-0 with a 1.06 career ERA versus Baltimore. So he has dominated this team. He pitched against them in April, went 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. 9 earned runs over his last 3 games for Lopez. He gave up 7 in his last start at Boston. That was a horrendous start. I mean, that was dreadful. And then he gave up 2 at Cleveland, none at home against the Angels. He has not given up an earned run in his last 3 home games. He has not given up. All these metrics show that they should dominate. And yet they're minus 170 to plus 142. I'll take the Orioles. Sounds stupid, but I will. If we look over the last 30 days, Lopez given up a 318 average to lefties. We know there's a lot of lefties in this Orioles lineup that can put him out. He's given up a 270 average to righties. If we look at Povich, only a 207 to lefties, which you would expect being a lefty, and 254 to righties. Very low hard hit percentage. I think the value's there. The Twins lost 2 out of 3 against the Marlins, for Christ's sake. So I think I can back the Orioles in this spot. Over-under is 8.5, and the over is favorited. All right, next game, it is the Dodgers and the Rockies. This is Gonsolin is who I see is supposed to pitch for the Dodgers. It's not official. This guy's pitched for like 3 seasons, nothing spectacular. He's got a 275 expected batting average, 589 expected ERA. Going up against Cal Quantrill with his 4.37 home ERA. If we look at Quantrill, not a lot of success against the Dodgers. 7.18 career ERA versus the Dodgers in 7 games. He has already faced this team 3 times this year, and they have tattooed his ass. He's got a 6.43 ERA this year. 2 games at home, 2 games away, 1 game at home. So in total, in 2024, 14 innings pitched, 22 hits, 10 earned runs. He's given up 10 earned in his last 3 and 9 in his last 3 home games, which that's actually pretty good. He only gave up 2 to the Cubs, 4 to the Marlins, 3 to the Padres. I like the over 11.5. It's a scary high number, but I do like it. I would pick the Rockies. Why do you say? Because the Dodgers just clinched the West last night. I'm sure they celebrated. Then you've got to go travel to Colorado for a 3-game meaningless series. I don't think they will care whatsoever what happens today. So give me the Rockies in this spot. I think they should get some runs off Gonsolin. If you don't really want to take the Rockies, maybe just look at their team total over. It could be a way to play them without playing them. All right, Rangers and the Angels. Jacob deGrom going up against Reed Detmers. Detmers. Rough little last start he's had, and the start before that. Let's see. Detmers has almost a 7 OA ERA. DeGrom a 3 home ERA. That said, that's over 1 game, so we don't have a huge sample size here. He's only pitched 2 games this year. Both of them were against the Mariners, so he gave up 1 earned run against the Mariners when he faced them at home, and then none at Seattle. If we look at Detmers, we've got a lot of history here. So he's pitched 9 games between 2022 and 2023 versus this team. 3.58 career ERA. So he's got 50 innings logged against the Rangers, 36 hits, 60 Ks, 16 earned runs over those 50 innings. But we look at his last 3, and man, he is struggling. Gave up 7 at Houston, gave up 7 against the White Sox. Let me repeat that. Gave up 7 against the White Sox. And then 2 at Minnesota. So give me the Rangers in this spot. I like DeGrom. Isolate first 5 maybe. Neither team's hitting very well, clearly, because the Angels got swept by the fucking White Sox. So there's that. Padres, D-backs. Yu Darvish. Merrill Kelly. This should be an interesting game right here. I have Perez on here. I sucked at updating this thing. My bad. But it was Perez last night, and then I woke up and it changed to Yu Darvish, so could be one or the other. I don't know. If we look at Darvish, he's got a 2.05 away ERA. If we look at Kelly, he's got a 3.5 home ERA. Not a huge sample size. Darvish has only pitched 4 away games. Kelly has only pitched 6 home games. That said, Kelly is 5-0 on the year, but he's given up 3 earned runs or more in his last 3 starts versus the Padres. Faced him 1 time in 2022, twice last season. But he's trending in a really good direction. He got off to a rough start. I think it was more, maybe the first 4 or 5 games was almost like a spring training for him since he was coming back from injury. He's only given up 4 earned runs in his last 3 games. Gave up none at the Brewers, gave up 1 at Coors, and gave up 3 to the Rangers before that. If we look at Darvish, also pitching really well. He's given up 4 earned runs in his last 3. Gave up 2 to the White Sox, none to the Astros, 2 at Seattle. I would lean Diamondbacks. Again, Padres are officially locked into their spot. They are in the playoffs. They cannot move. They cannot win the West. Really have nothing to play for. Pitch splits for Darvish look pretty bad. Everything he throws almost the Diamondbacks are hitting the shit out of. So kind of probably a game, yeah, means something for the D-backs, doesn't mean anything for the Padres. So give me the D-backs. A's, Mariners. A's just won their last game at the Coliseum. That's pretty cool. JP Sears going up against Luis Castillo. Castillo hasn't been officially announced, and he did miss his last start, but he is who I believe is going to pitch today. If we look at Sears, he's faced this team already twice this year. He is 0-2 with a 5.25 ERA against them. Both of those games were in Oakland. He just pitched against this team September 4th. 6 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs. So not great. He's given up 10 earned runs in his last 3 games. Gave up 6 at home against the Yankees. Gave up 4 in Chicago. Damn, is everybody's pitching in Chicago. And then 0 against Houston. If we look at Castillo, he's got 2 games versus this team this year. 1 home, 1 away. 13 innings, 11 hits, 4 earned runs. Give me the Mariners in this spot. I like them to take the Athletics down. Very emotional day yesterday. Last game at the Coliseum. Then they've got to go travel to Seattle. Good spot. All right, Cardinals Giants. We've got Miles Mikolas going up against Landon Roop. Mikolas has a much better away ERA than he does home. He's got a 4.59 away ERA. Roop 4.34 home ERA. I wouldn't look too much into that. That is a reliever that's been starting, and he's done very, very well. If we look at Mikolas versus San Francisco, he pitched against this team June 22nd at home. Went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 Ks. Given up 9 earned runs in his last 3 games. Only gave up 1 to Cleveland. Gave up 2 at Toronto, and then gave up 6 at home against the Mariners. 10 earned runs in his last 3 away games. If we look at Roop, 2 earned runs in his last 4 games. Dude's been pitching lights out. He blanked the Royals. He blanked the Padres. Gave up 2 at home against Milwaukee, and then blanked the Diamondbacks. Pretty damn good. Give me the Giants. Absolutely. Giants all day for me in that one. All right, let's get into our lovely pitching report. You can screenshot it, do whatever you want, maybe make some bets out of that. I will tell you the lines are very, very tight today. I do not like them. I do not like where they are at. Everything just seems to be really tight. Park factors here. Coors Field runs should be a poppin'. If we look at Progressive Field, there should be some home runs. So I think that works in the Astros' favor. Let's see. Wrigley, I thought was interesting. Even with the 19-mile-an-hour winds, it's only a minus 8% run. So kind of made me want to take that over 6.5 line. Last time the wind was like this and the line was 6.5, I want to say they scored about 9. So there's that. All right, best bets today. We've got the let's see. Yeah, Yankees are my favorite team. I already talked about that. Mets, they have something to play for. Blue Jays, I like the first 4. Maybe first 5, actually. Phillies, I get a little bit nervous about, to be honest. Probably should have swapped that, actually. I would probably put Tigers in front of Phillies. So, make that change. Anywho, best bets. New York Mets, Milwaukee over 7.5. I don't think Manaea gets out of this clean, and I think Frankie the Fade gets tattooed. You could maybe look at a Mets first 5 minus a half. Thought about that as well. But yeah, just give me the over in this game. Toronto first 5 minus a half. I think Adam Aller gets smashed. Jose Barrios should have a pretty good outing. So we're just hoping for like at least 2-1 here. New York team total over 4.5. I think Jared Jones gets rocked. This way I don't have to worry about, is Rodon pitching? Is he not pitching? Which I did already bet that. Remember, make sure you put listed pitcher. Astros first 5. Give me Astros first 5 at minus 120. I will back Blanco against Joey Cantillo any day of the week. And if it loses, so be it. San Francisco Giants first 5 minus a half. Roop has been pitching lights out, and it's Miles Mikolas. So just 1-0 will do. Just be up after 5 by 1. Parlays I like. Give me the Giants, the Mets, and the Yankees at plus 386. Give me the Blue Jays, the Braves, and the Tigers at plus 262. Fun parlay. It's Friday fun day, so we're giving out some lottos, baby. We're gonna do Yankees, Blue Jays, Braves, Mets, Giants at plus 1001. Upset parlay. We went big. Orioles, Rockies, Reds, Astros. If you want to take some juice off, take the Orioles off. I really do like the Rockies to win today. Plus 2,789. Prop leans, there was not a lot of props I liked out there today. Lopez over 2.5 earned runs. We just talked about how he has a very, very great track record against this Orioles team. Why is his earned run line at 2.5? Seems really high. So I think it's there for a reason. And the over's favored it. Give me the over. Julio Rodriguez for the Mariners, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Very juiced at minus 165, but I do love that play. Francisco Lindor over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I think we're seeing this so low because this is his first game back, but I think he just comes out and pops Montas here. And then Aaron Judge over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. You keep giving me Aaron Judge at minus 130. I will take that all day. 3 Nerfies I like today. White Sox and Detroit. We're trusting that Crochet gets it done against Detroit. And I believe it's going to be Casey Mize. He's serviceable. He's not going to walk a lot of people. He's going to let him put it in play a little bit. And then the Reds and the Cubs with the 560 mile an hour hurricane wind blowing in. And then give me the Royals and the Braves. So trusting Singer can at least get through the first part of this lineup. And the Royals can't hit. So that's pretty much a check the box there. All right, those are all the plays today. Very long video, a little over 30 minutes. Give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. It's free. I appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video.